Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of our Fireside Streams at-home discussions between the FS team and a broad range of leaders, from macro thinkers and artists to change makers and distributors. I am Erza Nicaj, Senior Strategist of Culture here at Fashion Soups, and I'm pleased to be interviewing Ben Hill today. I had the pleasure of meeting Ben in person at South by Southwest this year, and I was so impressed with this ingenious company that I had to set up an interview to learn more. As the CEO of Shareity, Ben's mission is to build authentic, brand-centric communities through purpose-driven advertising. Shareity really reimagines the role of social interaction, brand engagement, and philanthropy, using creativity for a positive impact. And with that being said, let's find out more. Welcome to Fireside Streams, Ben. It's great to have you with us.
Hi, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So before we jump into Shareity, can you please give our viewers a little bit about your background and what inspires you as a creative?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was in real estate development. My background's in technology and engineering. And my background was in engineering and architecture, and I got into technology the last like 7-8 years because I had a purpose-driven mission to essentially monetize social influence online. So like the digital existence of like your online presence, like what does that mean? I think that there's a lot of stuff that, you know, we're just kind of pioneering that kind of social structure right now with like influencers and getting, you know, paid for brand engagements and stuff like that. But what does that mean for everybody else, the individual? And so my purpose-driven mission is to put the power in the people, right? So that it's a more of a people-centric economy where they have control over their online data and online social influence.
I love that. I love that. Your work really personifies the principle of interconnected ecosystem and community. So let's jump into Shareity. You know, what triggered you to start it, and tell us more about what it is.
Sure. I have a few slides if you don't mind.
Perfect. We love visuals.
Yeah. So Shareity is just like the name implies, sharing charity. So you can think of us as like the fun of TikTok in Web3, but for charity. So it's a people-centric charity challenge platform where people can track and monetize their data and social influence, and brands are donating money for every action done. So it's a new way for charities and causes to raise money. It's a new way for people to monetize and tokenize their social influence online. And it's a new way for brands to advertise, paying it forward, aligning with consumers, and building community at the same time. We call this the share care economy. So people do actions with their smartphones, picture video actions, think TikTok, Instagram. Brands donate money for every action done, $1, $5, $10. Sometimes they plant trees to causes that find solutions. So ending cancer, homelessness, etc. So we say this is a new way that Zoomers do charity because they don't have a lot of money to give, but they would love to be able to be part of it. So with Shareity, they don't have to open up their wallets, right? They just have to pick up their phones, do a fun, quick action with their phones where a brand donates because of them. Creates a whole new connection between corporations and consumers, all for good.
I love that. You really found the issue and then found a solution that really benefits everybody. So I know your company has mentioned that advertisers spend over 1.2 trillion on mass marketing, only to produce ads with a 2% click-through rate. And there's this big lack of consumer alignment. So what role does your work play in changing that? So
we believe in the people-centric economy, right? So where the power's in the people, where they're able to monetize their influence online. And brands want to align with people, right? They want to align with purpose, right? When they align with purpose, 75% will switch brands based upon alignment. The Shareity is not to download, it's all web-based. It's about action. When people take action, it's more memorable, right? And they want to share that with their friends and family. They want to see where it goes. And hundreds of millions of people are taking action anyway, right? Their Instagram, TikTok videos, whatever. So we already feed into that. It's about scale, creating a first-party database of scale where you have a direct communication with the consumer now and the right to have that conversation with them, right? And they're sharing your content. Now, every Shareity challenge that's shared has the brand and the cause on it. So those peer-to-peer recommendations from friends are very powerful. And it's about better value. So not just like what brands normally get for CSR donations, which is what we call ROD, right? Return on donation. Instead, we're looking, like you said, at those mass marketing advertising budgets, $1.2 trillion a year, and getting better return for just donating money to charities and causes around the world, essentially. So when people take action, brands take action.
Love that. So yeah, we've definitely come to an understanding even here at Fashion Soups that consumers want to buy from brands with a positive impact on society. They're really voting with their dollars now. So I love that you shared some of the ways that Shareity supports brands and consumers with this. And what are brands and causes looking for in return?
Yeah, so they want to connect a direct connection with the consumer, right? Like causes want charities and causes, they want a community of people that feel like they're part of something. They don't want to feel like they're being asked for a donation every month or whatever, right? So this is a whole nother way to get donations to those causes. But for brands, it's about connecting with those consumers instead of like knocking on the door, say, hey, it's brand, soft drink brand X, right? Let me in and buy my product. Instead, with Shareity, they sit on the couch with the consumer and they say, how can we cure cancer together? And by the way, you thirsty, would you like something to drink? So it's a whole new way the brands stop selling and start serving in the share care economy. So they can turn any advertisement, any social post, any event, any product launch into a purpose-driven experience where people can participate instantly from their phones, putting the power in the people, but creating amazing connections with brands and causes around the world.
I love that. And on the consumer side, what can you tell us about how it works and what can customers really expect through this?
Yeah, sure. So I have another slide for that. So it's Snap Raise Share. It's less than 20 seconds. They can do a challenge on their phones. Like I said, it's QR code or text. So they simply do a QR code or text. They don't have to, download an app or anything. They upload their picture doing whatever the challenge might be. They see the brand donating money because of them. We call it the glad to see advertisement, where the brand's sitting on the couch with them, paying it forward with them. And then they're going to share that content. So they're sharing the brand and the cause when they're sharing their content peer-to-peer with their friends and family. And their friends and family are more willing to connect with that, right? I'm more willing to connect and become part of communities where my friends are already part of communities as well. So it kind of creates that viral effect, gets exposure for the brand and the cause out there. All people-centric.
So what do you have other examples of, your tracking technology, how we could use it in other ways?
Yeah, so we do AR, so we can do like scavenger hunts, right, and challenges at specific brands. So, doing, like a push-up challenge when you get to a donut shop or something or whatever, right, to get, free donuts or earn money, raise money for breast cancer. We also have engagement with our Lightbeat, which is another crowd engagement tool that we use. So it could be like, for goals during sporting events or concerts or whatever. And we also have what we're pioneering, which is essentially owning your online social influence, which is the next generation of the online art museum. So if you think about the NFTs that are out there right now, which are essentially just JPEG images, right? The code for JPEG images uploaded on a smart contract. With Shareity, it's our patented technology, TST, totally shareable token, where it tracks reciprocity everywhere in the world, whereby that user now can monetize that entire stream of reciprocity, all the views and impressions that were shared from the interactions with their images, everywhere around the world. So they're able to monetize their social influence on a whole nother level with this new online art museum.
And when do you see this becoming more mainstream, this type of technology?
Well, we're talking with some of the biggest, blockchain and crypto companies in the world right now. And it's just, I think it's a matter of people understanding what we're doing. I mean, I've been pioneering this for the last, 10 years full time, whatever. It's been a haul, but we're seeing a lot of adoption at some of the biggest levels with some of the biggest companies in the world. I'm not going to mention the names, but we do have MSAs in place with a few. So you will be hearing about us a lot more at bigger sporting events and all around the world.
Yes, especially now that everything's back to normal, sporting events are back, and you know, people are really looking to engage in real time, you know, in real world.
Exactly. With Shareity, they can participate instantly, and it's not like an inactive like or a retweet or a share or something. They're actually taking part in it, right? They're picking up their phones. It's like it's what we call like like volunteerism meets slacktivism, right? It's like the new way for people to volunteer,
Right.
whereby brands are donating for you. So I think it's the perfect relationship of people, brands, and causes all winning at the same time.
Definitely. And I know on like a people space that they really get to like own their image. They get to own, you know, the impact that they've made. I know now with social media, things go viral, they die out, and now it's like you can actually
Yep.
track your impact. And it's not just
Yeah.
views, it's you're tracking how much you help that charity and how much you spread the word. And this is already occurring now. I mean, the youth loves to get on TikTok and
Yep.
do videos and challenges. So why not have it be for good? And
Yeah.
all the while brands get to brand it. And
Yep.
it's a perfect ecosystem. It really is such a genius idea. I know when we talked and met, I was blown away by this concept. It's like, how does this not exist before? But I think,
Hmm.
you know, we need people like you, change makers, creatives, that piece together all of these ecosystems and say, this is the issue. Like they're all separate. Let's combine them together and then see what we can do. And especially with technology and the use cases of NFTs and the way that we can track things, why not just incorporate all of it? I think
Yeah.
technology is moving, and you know our wheels have to be turning just as well along with it.
I believe in using technology for good,
Yeah,
right? I mean, there's so much negative out there. There's depression amongst our younger generation. There's like kind of the keeping up with everybody else, imagey, issues that happen on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok or whatever. So we're trying to add more good to it. If we can add a stream of good and build reciprocity off of that, where people are sharing more good in the world, sharing more happiness, you're connected by not just your own happiness, but the happiness of all the others around you, right? So if you cut somebody off on the highway, you could say, okay, well, that was just that person, they're not connected to me, but they're the person that they affected because they were mad because you cut them off could be in line in front of you at like Starbucks or a coffee company, right? So like these are all things that we're all interconnected, and if we're spreading more positivity and reciprocity and using technology to do that, I think it would make this world a better place for everybody. And one of the last things I'd say is, part of the reason for building this technology is we're here for such a short time, right? And what say you for having been here in your life? And with Shareity, I believe in the trackability of all the accomplishments, all the great things that you've done to be summed up into like one thing. And not to say that this is what's written on your tombstone, but kind of like this explosion of the good that has happened from it. And not just from your initial interaction where I might have held the door for you, but where did that go? Did you hold the door for somebody else? Did you smile at somebody else that really made their day? Right? So where did that chain of reciprocity goes? And that's where we come into play.
what an incredible thing to see, you know, in your lineage. It's like, here's all the good that I did, and here's the technology that tracks it, and it's something that's there forever. It's our legacy. It's like our impact in the world, and really honing in on it and making it visible. I mean, who doesn't want that? It's definitely positive reinforcement.
Yep. And now brands can be part of it for simply, just partnering with people to do more good in the world, right? Cures that find cancers and, the homelessness to, the environment, like all those things can be solved. We don't need to go direct to government. People, brands, and causes could do it on our own.
Right. It's that autonomy that you're giving them, because a lot of our brands come to us and they know that issues are happening. They just don't know maybe how to help. Like they want to help, but they just need the resources and the
Yeah.
tools. And it's like this is the tools to make an impact. You know, we have a lot going on right now, a lot of social issues, and I know that consumers really want to also align with brands that relate to them on their ideals as well. So it's
Mhm.
like if if a cause is happening, whether it's not just a simple post on social media or like donate here and this is how we're helping, or here's 5% of our sneakers that are going to this cause. It's still so much driven in purchase.
Yeah, let people tell you where
Yeah,
they want the funds to go, right? It's
right,
people driven. So let people take action, right? When people take action, brands take action, and you align better with them, right? It's not a hard sell. It's not knocking on the door. It's not buy my product and I'll do something for you.
right, exactly.
This is a put your best foot forward, bank on that reciprocity happening, even on that consumer level, build a friendship with your consumers.
Right,
Like that's what we're talking about.
right. And it also helps them create an identity. You can look at specific brands and you say,
Yep.
that's a sustainable brand, or that's a brand that always gives back. And so to have your brand be associated with a cause or many causes for that, and
Yep.
like a fun, creative way to do it, like it's unforgettable. That influence is really something that it stays with people, definitely,
Yeah.
especially if it made them also go viral in a good way.
Yeah, and so when you have the brands along for the ride, right? They're there in partnership with you, right? They're not trying to sell something. They're trying to help you. Like all the influencers in the world, they want to do partnerships with brands, right? So this is a better way for connecting, influencers on every level with
Yes.
brands around the world. And what is the brand? The brand is the people, right? The people that share that brand, right? The brand is the people are the brand. They make products for the people that either want the products or don't want the products, right? So the people that buy their products are the brand, or what's the plural? Is it the right plural of it? Is the
Yeah,
brand? I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, it is the
but
brand.
people are the brand, or people is the brand. Anyway, but you get the point, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
why not treat them like they're the most important part, because they are, right?
And even the way we consume advertisements has changed. It changed drastically, and it went from seeing things on TV and billboards to online and social media and influencers. But even that, it's like we want an authentic way to see brands. We are over an influencer trying to sell us a shampoo or a product.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's being
Yep.
marketed, and you can't even
Yep.
trust the recommendations because it's
How
they're
much did you get paid to do that, right? Like
yeah,
how
we're
much
always
did you get paid? And it is like this is
yeah,
why we use the analogy of like knocking on the door of your house, because brands are trying to come in through the window, they're trying to sneak down the chimney,
yes,
right? They're always trying to, like, why not put it on the table and build a relationship with me instead, right? And when people take action, if they care to take action, now some of them won't want to take action, but if they say do this challenge and we'll plant a tree in your name, we'll plant 5 trees and help us plant a forest of 1 million trees or 10 million trees, like if people want to partake in it, they can. If they don't, it just becomes an amazing PR campaign for the brand anyway,
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think that there's a no lose situation with it. And I always, I'm kind of an advocate for the voice for the people, because it's all about people, right? It's all about a people-centric economy where they own the data, where it's not owned by all the major social media companies. And there's data protection problems. You know what? You can use my data anytime you want if you ask me. You know what I mean? There's the
right,
difference. So, and we allow that to happen. And with Shareity, you can erase your data everywhere in the world. You can erase your pictures everywhere in the world. You can erase your chain of reciprocity everywhere in the world if you don't like what's going on, right? So we put all the power in the people with this platform. But I think it's the best way for brands to align with consumers and do good at the same time.
I agree.
I see it as the only way to advertise. Call it fundertising, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's fundraising, it's like
I
fundraising and
like
advertising, but so it's like, yeah, we call it fundertising. It's a new way to pay it forward, essentially.
Yes, yes, I love it. Well, I think we can stop sharing screen. I do have one more question for you.
Sure.
We have some time. So I know that we met at South by, at a talk about NFTs and DAOs. So was there any major takeaway that you grabbed from South by Southwest? Anything you're seeing in innovation?
I like that things are becoming more people-centric.
Mhm.
I think it's a long time coming. And I think that all the talks around blockchain and crypto and NFTs and all this stuff is starting to put the power, back where it should be in the people and consumers. So I like the fact that marketing and advertising and all those things are starting to realize this. Yeah, so I loved, South by. I saw like so many creative people, just like they pick a project and they just go after it, right? And there's just so much passion there. Whether the people within startups or like VPs in companies or whatever, but like I love seeing that. I love seeing the energy and in the passion at these events.
Definitely. It was a long time coming. And I think because this is a fairly newer industry, that it just feels accessible to most people. And I like that, it was like teaching us these things. It wasn't like you should know everything. It was like, here's some digital literacy about what this all means, because it is this big question mark. It's like, where is tech headed? Like, what do these mean? And that's something our brands want to know too. So I like that everyone is kind of on the same boat as of now. Like everyone is, figuring it out together and using their creativity to really like blossom this new industry into something more community centric. So
and one last thing I'll say about that, this kind of next generation, there's like no boundaries, right? There's no like set way of doing things, which I love, because we've always been taught this set way that we need to do things, right? Like there's almost like a blueprint in life that you're supposed to follow. Like your parents did this and you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do this. And all that's been thrown out the door in the last 5 years, 10 years or whatever. And it's kind of interesting to see where it's going. And I think it's all going people centric. And I think, when brands realize that the power's in the people, no matter what, you just got to give them a better platform to do things. It's not Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, or like, I don't want to mention these names. I knew I was going to not mention names or whatever, but everybody knows the big social media companies. Right? So it's not like, see, the way I look at it is, brands right now, if they're investing in those other companies, and I don't want to put them down at all either, so I'll be careful what I say, but if they're investing in those companies, they're building their house on rented land, right? So like they don't own the data. The company, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they own the data, they monetize it, right? But not at the will of people. People aren't giving them the rights to do it, maybe through like, oh, I'm going to sign up for Twitter, so I'm giving them the rights to do this or whatever. But so I'm just saying,
that's a great analogy.
If you build your house on rented land, it's never a good proposition. And with Shareity, you're building your house on land. It's not you own the data. You don't own the data. The only way to own the data is where people own their own data, right? And they allow you to use that data, right? And they'll be spokespeople for you or spokespersons for you. Yeah, I'm getting my grammar maybe.
No, that's great.
But the point is, there's a better way to do things, and doing more good in the world, I think, is what's going to lead the way as well.
Right. It's a reciprocal give and take, and I think consumers would be happy to share and promote brands if it means that they have ownership of everything and they get to choose. So
and last thing I say, Nielsen did this, they used to do all these studies on like, will you share this brand, right? I don't know if the Nielsen ratings and all that, whatever, but so will you share this brand? Like they kind of rate people on their likelihood of sharing that brand or not. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't even make sense to me, because if I'm sharing the brand, or if I don't share the brand, like how are you even going to know if I did or didn't, right? So even if I say I'm going to, you might have given me a reward to do that. So with Shareity, they don't need to, like you mentioned that, they don't need to know what they're sharing. They don't even need to know the brand, right? They just need to know that this brand is doing good with me, and they're willing to want to do good with me. And now they're along for the ride. I'm sharing my challenge to raise more money for cancer, or for homelessness, or to save the environment. But that brand's now there, and I'm thinking about it with every share, with every person accepting my challenge, right? So they're along for the ride without it being in your face like I have to share the brand. No, I'm not sharing the brand. I'm doing a partnership, right? Where I'm using my social influence and the brand is along for the ride.
It's beautiful. I mean, your idea is very revolutionary. It really connects brands, people, causes, and it just brings new depth to what this all means in community. It's, like this perfect blend of philanthropy and creativity, and it's really inspiring, and it's much, much needed in society today after everything we've gone through.
I think so too.
We'll close on that note. This has been a pleasure getting to know more about you and Shareity, and on behalf of the entire FS team, thank you for your time and for joining us today, Ben.
Yeah. Bye. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.